So this week with our ads clients, we focused on our first drop. So what we did was we dropped 5 ad scripts and they went off and they're going to go get those over the next 2 weeks. And a lot of people ask me, hey, like what's the difference between ad and content? They're getting a bit overwhelmed of like why they need to do both. So I'm going to clear that up in this video. Then I'm going to go through my dumbass guide to a very complex marketing system. It's a dumbass guide because I'm a dumbass and I like to explain things super simple, okay? It's a complex marketing system because it is not dumbass. It is very well thought out. It's got a lot of structure to it, but it only works when all the pieces are in play. So I'm going to run through all the pieces and show you why potentially only maybe 1% of chiros, I'd actually say less, can actually run this system because they simply just do not have all the pieces in order. So they can't do it. It's as simple as that. So the first concept to understand before I go into any of this is something called relationship equity. Okay, so what your job is as a chiro is to start a relationship with your clients or your patients before they become a patient, essentially. Now, think of this relationship as there's you, and then there's the patient. So at the beginning, you have no equity. It's like an empty bank account, right? That's a money sack. Now, what you want to do is you want to fill up their bank full of equity. That's what you want to do. So how do you do that? Well, if you think traditionally, we're nice, we're friendly, good first impression, we dress well, we've got a nice clinic, all these things. That's all equity going into the basket, right? The other way that not a lot of people are doing it is using content, giving help, and just trying to be there for people and expect nothing in return. And that's why my mantra with content is just like can help people. That's it. That's all you need to do. So if you imagine the relationship probably right now for you when someone comes in is there's nothing here. There's none. And that's why they're a bit skeptical. They don't really know what chiro is. When you take them through their care plan, you know it's awesome. They know it's awesome. They still have objections because there's no equity. Like there's nothing there. So the point of content is you keep filling this up, right? You just keep doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. And you just fill that thing up. Now, the point of doing that is so that when you do ask, it's not like there's nothing to withdraw from. Okay, so an ad, in short, is asking. So it's actually a withdrawal from that relationship equity because you've asked for something. Okay, so now you can imagine most chiropractic and healthcare, most businesses remove the content side and all they do is run ads. So they're negative, they're in debt, right? And then the person eventually is like, oh, I'll come in. That's why they're like this in the initial consult and report, because they're like, oh my God, what does this guy want? He's going to sell me something. What do they want? That's why it's like that, okay? So understanding with every single person, before they even become a client, all you're trying to do is open up a bank account and just deposit for them. That's all you want to do. No ill intention, nothing at all. You just give them as much as you can. You help them as much as you can. You give them, then you're allowed to give offers. And they're like, cool, no, that's all good. And then you just keep depositing. And then that's the cycle. It's like keep depositing, maybe like a 10-to-1 ratio. Oh, you ready to buy yet? No, okay, all good. Keep depositing. That's the basic premise of relationship equity, okay? And that's something that not a lot of chiros have because they don't create content and they don't want to. But what they will do is they'll run ads and then deal with people who are just sitting there cross-armed like, oh, I don't want to deal with this guy. Like, God, just sell me something already. That's the yucky feeling, right? And that's the feeling I never want to have in practice again because I want, and even with people who work with me now, by the time they're on a call, they're pretty much just like, hey, you've helped me so much already. Let's get started. Like, how do I start? I almost want to give back to you. Like that's how much you've done. So that's my idea with content is just give so much value. And then by the time you get on a call, new patient exam, whatever, they're just like, I've seen it all. Let's get into it. Fix me, help me. Because what they're thinking is, geez, if he helps me this much for free, he or she helps me this much for free, imagine what they're gonna do when I pay them. Like, imagine how good the service is gonna be, right? And it's just moving all of the pressure off the new patient in the report, putting it way back into content, and then by the time they're there, it's not a sale anymore, like they're pre-sold, right? So how we do it, my dumbass guide to the marketing system. 4 levels, okay? We've got a level 1, which is organic content. Organic content is something you just post on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, TikTok, if you're nasty. Level 2, engagement. Engagement content is paying for your organic content to get shown to more people. Simple as that. Level 3 is an education. This is a normally run paid ad. And then a level 4 is a ninja, and no one's at this level yet. Okay, so we'll get to that in a moment. So level 1, let's think deposits, withdrawals. Okay, level 1, organic content, your IG pages, your Facebook pages, TikTok if you're nasty, YouTube, emails, lead magnets. If you don't know what they are, it's just a free resource that you can give someone. So it might be like an ebook, a newsletter, like whatever. So organic content, what's it doing? It is pouring into this bank account, right? Boom. Now, there is one exception, one red flag. It's when you put a call to action in your organic content. Don't fucking bother, okay? What you're doing is you are giving value into the bank account. As soon as you go, book an appointment, follow me for more, anything like that where you ask for something. If you've asked in your content, you've made it an ad and it has become a withdrawal. You've just defeated the purpose of doing that. Now, I'm not saying never do it. I'm saying keep the ratio in your mind. 10-to-1 minimum. And if you're doing good enough content, you're not going to have to say, follow me for more. Okay? So, organic content. Do not take away the value by adding a call to action. Organic content is just there to help people. That's it. That's all you do. Okay? Cool. Now, if we think, I'll just clean this up. Now, why would I then come to a level 2 and start paying people to see, or paying Facebook, I should say, to see my organic content, okay? Well, when you put a post on social media, it does not get shown to your entire audience, okay? So you may have 500 people following you, only 300 of them see it. You've got 200 and it might not show up in their feed. How annoying is that? But that's the genius of Facebook and Instagram. They are billionaires for a reason, okay? So when you do a post and you get stuck in that like 200, or you just find that you're always stuck at a level, and the level's always different based on your following. It's the way the algorithm works, okay? So what they're doing is they're going, okay, 200 people go and watch this. They get that out of your audience and a couple from outside that are like lookalikes. Have a look. Does it pass the test? No. That's it. That's as far as it goes. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok are looking for viral things that are broad, that everyone likes, so that everyone stays on their platform. So every single level is a test, okay? And wherever you fail is where it'll stop, okay? So because a lot of your content is going to be directed straight to your audience, it's probably going to fail. It's not going to go viral. And that's why I don't set the expectation of, hey, we're going to make viral clips. If you do, it's actually kind of a negative, but it's like you're just getting to your own audience, okay? Now, because of this reason, we need to make sure our own followers see our stuff. That's why we've got to pay for it. We also have people who you can get people to come. We put our organic content in front of them and they're going to see it, go to your page, and then you can actually start to cycle them in your own system so that they eventually become a follower as well and they get a part of what they're seeing. So what you're doing is paying for your own audience to see it, paying for a bit more of a broader audience to see it, but it's a very much lookalike content, audience. And then essentially what you're trying to do is just grow that pool of people constantly. So just off the top of my head, I know I have 91 followers on that account that I've just started. I've had 900 people view my profile, okay, because I'm doing these engagement ads. Now that they've viewed my profile, I can keep showing them more stuff, right? So this is how we're creating a warmer audience. Cool. So what we're doing there with a level 2 engagement is we're simply depositing even more. So we're using this content, putting a couple of dollars a day behind it. I have a budget of $5 at the moment per day. I boost, that's what boosting is. I boost it into here to create more relationships with more people, start the bank account, and just keep depositing in it. So, and it's just literally organic posts that are boosted. When I say boosted, that's what's on Instagram. Do not hit the boost button on Instagram. That will charge you 30% extra. So this is actually in your business meta account, I set up a campaign and run an ad set for a follower ad, okay? It's just like, I get all my content that did well within my own audience. I put $5 a day behind it, and I send it to anyone who's visited my Instagram profile before, anyone who's looked at my website, and anyone who's looked at my Facebook page. I also have my PracDev linked into it, so anyone who's visited those pages, and I have Aaron's account, anyone who's visited his page as well. So that's why when I spoke last week about having clinic, person, two personal brands attached to a clinic, you can run the entire audience together. That's why I say have different audiences. So level 2, if we think of the psychology here, so organic, I'm helping people who already follow me and just depositing stuff in their bank account. Then I'm finding more people who are similar to my audience using my deposits to pay a little bit more and get even more deposited in their bank account, okay? So at this point, it is all just here, just take it. I just want to help. That's it. End of the line, okay? Then once this section is complete, now, when I said less than 1% of chiros can do this, you need to have at least 10 to 15 reels, posts per month that you can put into these ads. Most chiros don't get that. Okay, that's where they're failing. They're not depositing enough. So what you do then is they run this level. So this is paid ads. Everyone that that's running a paid ad is doing this right here. So this is an education ad. So why is it an education ad? Because you don't want to just go book an initial consult right now. There's a certain structure that you need to pull out. We're actually doing a drop today on ad scripts. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can have a look at it. But there's a very certain sequence. So Aaron calls it the 4A framework. I'm going to have to look it up and then tell you what it is. Give me a minute. All right, told you this was the dumbass way of doing it. So first one is attention. So you got to stop the scroll. This is hooks. This is about as far as most coaches will tell you to go, or even influencers, is like, you got to get the hook right. Yeah, cool. You do have to get their attention. So if you sit all day and your neck feels like concrete, that's a hook, okay? Then there's more to a piece of content than a hook. So the next one is agitation. So then you need to lean into the problem. So describe the symptoms in vivid detail that they might be feeling. Oops, sorry, the lights got a bit funny. So you're going, get their attention, and then you agitate them. And then you put the application into it. So here's where you bring in your solution. So demonstrating stretches, posture, adjustments, whatever. And then you do the action. So that's the call to action. So essentially you're going attention. So it's like, hey, look at this thing. Is this annoying you? Here's the solution. Here's how you book in. That's the structure of an ad, very basic. But remember that last thing there, action. You ask them to do something. So what are you doing on level 3? We are starting to, whoopsie daisy, we are starting to withdraw, right? Now, every chiro who's running ads without creating any of this is withdrawing. Here's the new patient every time they come in. Yeah, my back hurts. Yeah, my neck's sore. How long has it been a problem for? Like the last week. Like they don't trust you. You've taken away from them. You've asked them. They're there in their time, paying you money. Yuck. but that's the reality for a lot of clinics. So this is where if someone's like, yeah, I run paid ads, and then you look at their social media account and they are not posting anything, their pages are dead, stale, and old, they are just withdrawing. And this is really why I started the Reputation Builder, why I started the Influential Chiro, because we have withdrawn as a profession for way too long. And that's why the public's perception of us is terrible, because we're salesmen. That's how they see us. Apparently we rank lower than used car salesmen, which is just, anyway. So if you've been wondering why people are skeptical of us, why when you see all this stuff on Facebook about us, it's because of this reason. We've just been taking for too long. And there's too many people who are comfortable taking and not giving. So that's the war we're up against. If you're watching this, you're on my side, I can see it. We're going to flip that narrative. People are going to love us, they're going to know who we are. We're going to deposit so friggin' much for our profession that this is not the way people see us anymore, okay? All right, so that's level 3. Now you do need, I know I'm ripping on this, but you do need ads. If you don't ask, you can't complain about leads because they don't know what your offer is, okay? So you just need to ask, and it doesn't need to be a desperate ask. It's just like, remember, here's all my free content helping. And this is what I do, just by the way. When you're ready, give me a call. Easy as that. All right, then level 4. This is the coolest thing that no one gets to do except for me. And there's a few other guys doing it too. Well, there's heaps of other guys doing it. That's where we learned it. But this one is sick. So this, I don't even know what this is. I don't know if it's a deposit or a withdrawal. Technically it's a withdrawal because it's an ad, but it's like super ninja. So this is a retargeting ad, okay? Now you can't retarget anyone if you haven't done these first 3 levels at the start, okay? And when I say retarget, it's very specific, okay? So what I mean by this is I have all of this organic content. So I've got a social media page that's got all this stuff on it. I'm then boosting it and putting it out to more people. I know that someone visits my IG profile. I know you watch my YouTube videos. I know you've read a few things. So like, I know you've taken the email series. I know you've gone to my school page. I know you've watched 5 pieces of content at least, and you visited my profile, right? Then I know, because with this ad, I'm going back to you again, I know you know my offer, okay? You can probably see where I'm going with this. So I know all of this stuff about you, and then you still haven't bought, okay? Now, typically, you'd be like, cool, just keep pumping, right? Which you do, you just continue pumping like that. They just keep going like this. But then, when they're at this point, I gather all this data. So this is a very niche set of people who have gone through all of this. And I go, all right, I put filters on and I go, okay, whoever's visited my page, gone to my school group, watched my YouTube, downloaded my lead magnet and gone through my email series, and they've seen my ad and they've clicked on something from my ad. These are just examples. I'll go, that's the criteria. So that's like a 10-part criteria. And I go, all right, I'm going to make an ad just for them. So if someone hasn't seen all that, they don't see this, okay? But what I do is I go, literally, it's like, hey bro, I know you've done XXXXXXX. Why haven't you booked yet? Or why aren't we working together? And then I'm handling objections. So it's like, why is it? So I might be like, why aren't we working together? You might think the price is too high. Here's the reason it's so high. And these are like literally ads that just answer objection questions and just call them out and just be like, why are you effing around and not just taking this seriously? And it's because I know I've already got all of this relationship equity with them, so I can do that. I can just call them out, right? So these are retargeting, like super specific retargeting to these people, handling objections, right? Now, when you do that, that is pretty much the sales call done, right? Like they have seen so much stuff, they've engaged with it, they've downloaded, they've gotten help, they know your offer, then you've gone and handled their objections. what do you think that sales call is going to be like? It's just going to be like, well, to be honest, you don't even need a sales call anymore. Like if this was in reality, if you could do this in a hypothetical world, it would be someone would just walk in one day and they'd be like, here's $2,000. And they just go and lay on a table and it's like, just start adjusting me, like just fix me up. That's pretty much what happens. So once you've got all of that in the bank, this thing is like spilling money out because it's full. They know your offer. You start handling their objections with a level 4 retarget. How are they not going to work with you? Like there's nothing more you can do other than just let them keep going around in that cycle. And that's why when I said in one of the previous videos about like a funnel, how it's like chuck as many in as you can and then let a couple fall out and lose the rest. We're not doing that. We're putting this into a cycle so that they can just continue to go around, and we're being more efficient with people rather than letting them all just fall out the bottom, right? So that's the 4 layers, okay? So the whole premise of this, first of all, is deposit. So just give as much as you physically can, okay? That's the whole point of content, is to just give. You can see the issue of advertising alone is that it is a take. You can make brilliant ads that feel like content, but again, they're still taking, okay? So the better your ads get, the less they take, but they still take a little bit because you're giving content. So when you look at sort of the ratios of where things should be, these streams here, you should have so many more pieces of content going in that just help people compared to ads that are taking out, right? Like you want literally, I sort of live on a 10-to-1, and you can't really measure this, but just think like if I don't have a good 10 pieces of content a month that I can boost and get in front of people, I'm not putting enough out there. That's pretty much how you can work it out. So yeah, absolutely pour the content in. 99% of chiros can't do that. They can pay someone to run an ad for them though. And within this, they can make the ad better, worse. They run adjusting compilations that they don't even feature in, even lower trust. But you can start to run better ads that still take, but they're better. So they're not as heavy. You know, people will be like, oh, so your ad, it was pretty good. Cool. Then they run that. You run that as well on the back of all your content. Then Ninja, level 4 retargeting. Hey, I know you've seen so much stuff. Like, why aren't we working together? And then there'd be a pretty damn good reason why not. And that's why you're breaking down the objections. So that's a dumbass guide to a complex marketing system. Try to explain that as clearly as I can as a dumbass. It is complex, but it really isn't that complex when you think about it. You've just got to have, as I said, all those pieces. Otherwise it doesn't work. You can't do that and have no, like if you just, imagine if you saw an ad like that. It's like, why aren't you working with me? You'd be like, what? Like, who are you? So you can't do it. So you've got to deposit as much as you can, give them the offer, pull out all of the things that they have seen and done, see the relationship you have, the relationship equity, then hit them with like, come on, bro, like, what are you doing? It's sick. But that's the dumbass guide to a complex marketing system. I'd love to run this for everyone. Not a lot of people can. To get started, get your content sorted, then we can work on all the other stuff. Cool.